Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for Monday, September 29, 2025. And in the news this evening, police identify man killed at the St. Toolies River. Police have identified a man who was shot dead by a gunman at a section of the St. Toolies River near the Manchester-Clarendon border on Sunday. Police identified him as Lavar Malcolm, 26, a resident of Kintyre District in St. Andrew. Social media users have named him as a TikTok influencer named Jamie Warlock. The police report said Malcolm was among a group of patrons on a section of the river. Police said Malcolm was approached by a gunman who demanded his belongings, adding that Malcolm resisted the attempt and was shot several times in his upper body. However, a senior police source said detectives theorize that Malcolm's killing may be linked to an ongoing feud in the Papine area. Police found 5 Blaze Luger 9mm spent casings at the scene. 55-year-old gunned down at home in St. Catherine. A man was gunned down inside his home in Harewood District in Riversdale, St. Catherine last night. He has been identified as 55-year-old fruit vendor Wayne Mundell, otherwise called Coco and Hanson. Reports are that about 7 o'clock, Mundell was at home with relatives when explosions were heard in a bedroom. Checks were made and he was found lying in blood with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to the head. The police were summoned, and on arrival, the body was observed on its back, clad in a black pair of shorts. The body was removed by a funeral home. No motive has been established in Mundell's death. The Riversdale police are investigating the matter. 2 men killed in gun attack at a bar in Westmoreland. 2 men were killed and another wounded during a gun attack at a sports bar in Darlington, Westmoreland Saturday night. Police say masked gunmen entered the bar along the Lennox Big Woods Main Road about 8:30 p.m. and opened a fire at the patrons. 29-year-old Mason Andre Bobby Hall was shot in the head, while Delroy Barton, 21, also a Mason, was shot in the back. Both were pronounced dead at Savannah Lamar Public General Hospital. A 38-year-old self-employed man was shot in the hand and remains in stable condition. Investigators say the gunmen escaped on a waiting motorcycle. Moments later, they allegedly shot at a passing white Toyota Axia motor car, damaging the vehicle. The driver was not hurt. Flash flood warning lifted. The Meteorological Service has discontinued the flash flood warning for low-lying and flood-prone areas of St. Thomas, Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland and Hanover. The system that triggered the warning, a trough induced by Tropical Storm Imelda, has shifted north and away from the island. The Met Service says satellite imagery, radar and rainfall reports show a reduction in rainfall amounts, allowing for the warning to be lifted. Forecasters say the country can expect isolated showers and thunderstorms over sections of southern and western parishes this morning. By Monday afternoon into evening, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely across most parishes, particularly in the north. Fishers and marine operators are being urged to proceed with caution, as occasional thunderstorms and strong gusty winds are expected over southern and northern offshore waters into this afternoon. Golding announces shadow cabinet. The People's National Party on Monday unveiled its new 27-member shadow cabinet and a list of deputy spokespersons. The team has been tasked with providing oversight, holding the government accountable, and presenting alternative policies that reflect the PNP's vision for a just, inclusive, and progressive Jamaica. PNP President Mark Golding says the shadow cabinet has been organized around the 4 key pillars of national life: economic development, human development, physical development, and governance that will ensure a structured approach to addressing Jamaica's most depressing challenges.
I also wish to emphasize that the shadow cabinet comes at no additional cost to taxpayers. This is not about salaries or perks. Our spokespersons serve without pay in these shadow cabinet roles. At the same time, the shadow cabinet provides an important platform for our MPs to engage meaningfully on national issues and to demonstrate their potential and readiness to assume portfolio responsibilities in a future government.
Mr. Golding will speak on matters of defense and the constitutional affairs. Julian Robinson, Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Alfred Dawes, Health and Wellness, Fitz Jackson, National Security, Damian Crawford, Education and Early Childhood Development, Peter Bunting, Productivity, Efficiency and Competitiveness, and Dr. Dayton Campbell, Agriculture, Fisheries and Food Security. Anthony Hilton returns to the Shadow Cabinet as spokesperson on Trade, Industry and Global Logistics. Philip Paulwell, Energy and Telecommunications, Dr. Angela Brown-Burke, Social Protection and Social Transformation, Nikisha Burchell, Creative Industries, Culture and Information, Weaver Hines, Labor and Sports, Denise Daly, Gender, the Elderly, and the Persons with Disabilities, Lutheran Cousins, Land Settlements and Titling. Michael Phillips remains the spokesperson on issues relating to transport and mining. Ian Hales will cover water and special projects. Richard Azan, Roads and Works. Senator Professor Floyd Morris, Housing and Sustainable Living. Natalie Nita Garvey, Local Government and Participatory Governance, and Senator Donna Scott Motley, Foreign, Regional and Diaspora Affairs. On matters of justice, Zuleika Jess will take over this role. She is one of 7 new additions to the list of spokespersons. The others are Andrea Perkins, who will speak on tourism and linkages, Christopher Brown, Science, Technology and Digital Transformation, Dr. Kenneth Russell, Rural and Community Development, Dennis Gordon, Urban Renewal and Redevelopment, Omar Newell, Environment and Climate Change, and Isat Buchanan, Youth and Human Rights. St. Anne man charged with murder following fatal stabbing in St. Anne have charged a man for fatally stabbing another during an argument after he found him in the company of his girlfriend. 26-year-old maintenance worker Chanardo Wilmot of Mile End in Utrius is charged with the murder of 34-year-old Shadroy Nash, a tailor of St. Dacre in Alexandria in the parish. The incident happened in Inverness, Alexandria on Wednesday, September 24. Reports from the Alexandria police are that around 8:50 p.m., Wilmot was in the area when he saw his girlfriend in the company of Nash. An argument then developed between him and Nash, and Wilmot allegedly used a knife to stab Nash multiple times, according to the police. The police were alerted, and Nash was taken to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Following the incident, an investigation was launched. Wilmot was subsequently arrested. He was charged on Friday, September 26. His court date has not yet been finalized. Cop dies 3 days after bike crash in St. Elizabeth. A police constable who sustained serious injuries in a motorcycle crash on the Lacovia Main Road in St. Elizabeth on Friday has died. He has been identified as Constable Ezroy Booth. A police source said the policeman succumbed on Monday at the Black River Hospital 3 days after the crash. On Sunday, head of the St. Elizabeth Police, Superintendent Coleridge Minto, in a video on the Jamaica Constabulary Force's social media platforms, issued a plea to the public for the donation of blood for the policeman. He said Constable Booth was seriously injured during the crash on Friday. At about 10 p.m., Constable Ezroy Booth was riding his private motorbike in an easterly direction along the Lacovia Main Road, heading in the direction of Santa Cruz. On reaching a section of the main road, he lost the control of the motorbike and crashed into a pole, said Minto. He received severe injuries and was taken to the Black River Hospital. Both legs are broken, as well as he sustained other internal injuries, to include also his pelvis. He lost a lot of blood during this accident. Minto had also disclosed the plans to transfer both to another medical facility on Sunday. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.